Wuthering Cyberpunk collab are going to be released very soon. By the time this video is released, I guess the banner are going to be already live on the server, and you might be pulling for the Lucia and also get the free character, which is a Rebecca. Now after reading their kit, it is actually very lucrative, and also there are some kind of controversy was happening when the developer are already released that what kind of currency are going to be really required to pull these kind of characters. Especially these games are following the same as the HSR's footstep, which is the collab banner, or you can say the limited collab banner, are not going to be the sharing the same banner as the limited banner of the Wuthering has been doing it. So if you already have some kind of like a limited banner pools already saved up, you cannot even use those kind of pools for your Cyberpunk collab banners. There are some kind of like special currencies that are going to be provided, which you have to use it to pull for your collab characters. Now if you do have an asteroid, which is kind of like similar to Primogem if you are from the Genshin Impacts, if you do have good amount of asteroid, you can even totally also pull those character by your spending this kind of like asteroid. But they're also going to provide you 15 free pulls just by having to log in this game while the Cyberpunk collab is already running. That's kind of like a very much of a huge benefit the Wuthering is actually giving, but the players were furious just because of they are totally following what the HSR already been built up in the Fate. They want something better what HSR is or whoever's already not even doing it. Having this kind of similar things giving by the competitor, which is Wuthering, it is kind of like a very hard to swallow. Now I don't even having any kind of problem if I just somehow able to get one of those characters. It is actually going to good, and also the main thing is that sharing not the same PT from the main of a limited banner what the Wuthering has been giving to us. It is actually very heartbreaking to see that they are also following the same thing which I already mentioned to you from the HSR's Fate collab system. Now if they are going to give us like enough pulls or in that banner to PT a certain character from the collab, to PT the collab character, which especially Lucy, I guess the players are not going to be mad. And also if they somehow bring back the system of the PGR system, which is also their previous project, then I guess it won't be any kind of like a problem. In their previous project, which is the PGR, they're also very much well known for their kind of like a goated collab. They already collabed with so many games characters, especially the first collab was done with an Air Automata. They already have written 2 or more times, and the second collab, which is the biggest collab ever done in a PGR history, which is none other than the DMC collab. The character reference from the games and also the PGR games was so much close, and also the combat showcase was actually very much close to what the actual of a original game franchise could even give you, especially the Virgil's attack and also the Tante's attack. So players were very much of a hype about when the Wuthering, which is a successor of the PGR, are announcing that they are going to also having kind of like a collab for the Cyberpunk anime version. They were hyped that the game also going to be doing some kind of look good. And also PGR does have some kind of like a special system when you are going to pull for any of this like collab banner. When the PGR is providing to you, the amount of pull that you are going to invest into that banner are going to be half by it. And also after certain of a pull session, you are going to get like some of the rewards and also some of kind of like a free 6-star weapon for that characters. In that PGR game, 6-star is kind of like a highest rarity, but Wuthering has the 5-star is the highest rarity. In some other games, they have their own preference. If they somehow added this kind of system for the Wuthering, player would be totally overblown by that, and also they won't be even think about just totally bashing this game anymore. But since the Wuthering is not even following the footsteps of the PGR collab system, I guess it is really tend to be kind of like a disappointed moment. Now it is actually ironic to see that the Wuthering and also Cyberpunk does have kind of like a share the similar fate of their launch. And why am I saying this? Because when the Cyberpunk was released, it was kind of like a very much of a disastrous launch. Just like when the Wuthering was released, it was also a disastrous launch. But after some times later, the Cyberpunk totally fixed their game, and also it can be played with the iGPU and also so many kind of like a lower end GPUs or lower end PC as well as. But when it comes to the Wuthering, it has been like a 2 years. They're just adding overblown of animation and also overblown of a physics interactive with the environment and also other so many things. But when it comes to the optimization, they just totally left it before the Hignasita. Man, playing this game on your iGPU and also on your low-end PCs is going to be a nightmare. But if the game was very much well optimized, then I guess there would be so much player, and also the debate between the Genshin Impact also Wuthering won't be there. But you already know that there is kind of like a certain market who can even give us a great examples how a quantity can even beat the good quality, which is none other than the Free Fire is beating the PUBG shit out of it since the games was relaunched or even to this 5 years of lifespan of that game. If the Wuthering is taking a good amount of like a direction about when it comes to the optimization of their game, I guess it won't be any kind of like a problem. Anyway, I just totally have some kind of like uncertain things which is not going to be main topic of this video. So in this video I'm going to talk about that which character you should be pulled, especially Rebecca is going to be the free, but having this kind of free you should not even totally ignore her because the amount of like a buff she can even provide to your teammate, whole over teammate, is actually very much of a good one. Aside from the Rebecca, there is also a limited character which is the Lucia. Being a main DPS, she is providing a way too much support capability, which is actually very much interesting to see that. So without further ado, let's start with our video. So our first character that I'm going to talk about, which is none other than going to be Rebecca. She's our free character, and being free character, she's also going to give us so many things. First one is going to be she's also a support and sub DPS character. She comes from the electro element, and also the buff she will be providing to you is a heavy attack buff, and also going to provide you a 15% damage amplification. Damage amplification is kind of like all types of damage are going to be increased for your certain characters, and also when she is going to deploy her ultimate, and nearby enemies are going to get a 30% attack bonus, and this kind of attack bonus are going to also extend 30 seconds, which is actually a huge amount of things. So getting this kind of like a low amount of buff from a free character, it is no joke. But for her playstyle, she is also going to give you a good chunk of damage just being a support or sub DPS character, and also some other buffs are going to be gated towards our next character, which is none other than the Lucia. Yes, Lucia is a very much of a DPS character, but when it comes to her kit, it is not even looking like a DPS capability. Aside from the DPS capability, she is actually providing a lots of value towards your whole over the teammate, and that value is going to be 30% all types of damage amplification when she is going to on her outro buff, and also she is going to give you a 25% basic attack damage amplification. And also it is not even stopped there. There is also another kind of like a debuff she will also provide you, especially on her like a hack debuffs. When she is also attacking towards the enemy, she is going to provide a kind of like a hack debuff, just like the game's reference. This kind of hack debuff are going to provide the enemies of a 5% defense reduction, and also 5% damage taken increase, or you can say 5% damage vulnerability, and the another buff is going to be the 5% attack reduction. So if you are somehow really want to play with a no sustain characters, you can even play it because the enemies are not even going to deal the actual damage, because the Lucia are going to decrease the enemies all over the attacks. And another thing is that just giving the debuff is not the main thing. She can even totally crowd CCs all over the enemies. So having this kind of like a crowd CCs ability, she's also going to be very much of a good for the Whimpering West, which is very much of a specialized the character who have this kind of like a crowd CCs control, just like the Jian, Camille, and also other thing. But the amount of buff she is actually providing, which is the 25% basic attack damage amplification, it is actually going to be helpful for lots of character into this game, such as the Luke Hudson, who is also a basic attack heavy character, and also another character which is our old favorite girl, which is another than the Camille, and also the face of meme of the Wuthering. This is like a basic, or you can say the normal of a buffs and also debuffs she can even provide, especially being a DPS character and also giving you this kind of like a capability or debuffs or buffs towards the enemies. Man, I have no idea. So is this going to be another option that should you even just totally skip her or not? Because the amount of debuffs and buffs she is actually providing to you, it is going to be no brainer that you should not even skip her. You should even have to pull her on her first glance. And also it is actually very much of a tend to see that how long they are going to run this banner. Their competitor, which is the HSR, they are running a certain collab character, which is the Archer and also Saber. They did not even announce that when they are going to finish their banner, but they also announced kind of like a second phase of the Fate banner, which is also create kind of like a controversy between the community, because the character model and also so many things are not even gated towards the enemy reference, because the character of Gilgamesh and also the Rin are all over the place. Especially Rin's attack are not even from the Fate UVW, it comes from the Ishtahar, which is comes after another like a Fate series, not the Fate UVW. After the reference of the Fate series of the HSR, it is confirmed that they are not even taking a certain route of their characters kit. They are totally taking so many other Fate series routes of their certain characters and also mixing between one characters. But when it comes to the Wuthering, I guess there was some kind of like a leaks that they are going to add another male character. I totally forgot his name from the Cyberpunk anime. They are going to add these characters, and when they are going to add this character, I guess it is going to be happen for the second phase of this like a collab, just like the HSR. So I guess that's all for it. And if I just give you a TLDR, if you really want to pull for the Lucia, I guess it is not going to be a no-brainer that you should even have to pull for her. But having this kind of like a system where the banner is not going to share for your limited banner, what is the Wuthering as base banner, it is actually pretty much of a heartbreaking if they somehow follow the PGR systems, which is kind of like a half of the banner pool that you are going to pull for your collab banners. It is also going to be helpful. People who already pull for the Hyukis and also her signature weapon and also her Denia, which is going to be the best install for our Amath or our last recent Sentinel character, they don't even have pulls that much of left, but the amount of pull that they are going to provide upcoming patch, which is a collab patch, then I guess it could be like a balance between it. But if they somehow f up any of those like other aspects, I guess the community won't be tolerant furthermore. I guess that's all for this video. If you like it, and also if you do have any kind of question regarding this kind of character that I already mentioned here, you can totally comment on the comment section, and also see you on the next video. Peace.